Hello, and today we're going to be modeling a pipe, and we're going to give it a glass material so you can see through it, then have a water simulation that runs through the pipe and comes out the other side. And it's going to be a simple tutorial that's really cool, so let's get started. First, remove the splash screen, scroll into the cube and delete it. Hit Shift A, go to Curve, click on Bezier Curve. Then we're going to hit Shift A again, click on Bezier Circle. Then we're going to change Blender Render to Cycles Render. Then I'm going to select the Bezier curve and drag out the menu. So we need to click on the Bezier Curve tab. Okay, and where it says Bevel Object, we are going to select the Bezier Circle. And what this does is it allows it where the Bezier Circle follows the Bezier Curve. Okay, now go into the Edit mode and you're going to see this line that runs through the cylinder. Go to the marker and you can see that if I drag this out, it actually changes or morphs the cylinder. Okay, so that's how we're going to kind of make our pipe. So let's bring this up, then let's select this marker and hit E to extrude it and bring it up here, and then E again to come down. Alright, now if you look at this, it's a little bit, well, it's not exactly straight, so let's change the location of it, kind of make it to our likings. Okay, about right there. And let's look at this. That looks good. Okay, now we need to get our rotation tool, and we're just going to rotate it about like that. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Okay, that's looking good. Now I'm going to get my rotation tool and select this and bring it downwards. Okay, looks good. Go back to object mode, and right now we have it selected as it's still a Bezier curve. So what we got to do is we have to change this into a mesh in order to apply the effects that we want to apply later in the tutorial. So what we need to do is we need to hit Alt-C, and where it says convert to, we need to convert it to mesh from curve. Alright, so get our location tool, kind of drag this into the center. Now we need to work on the water simulation. So hit Shift A, go to mesh, and then click on UV sphere. I'm going to bring the UV sphere right about there, and hit S, and where it, to kind of make it a little bit smaller, and it's going to fit kind of right at the top of the pipe. And so this is where the water is going to come from, and it's going to flow through the pipe and come out the other side right here. Okay, so hit Shift A again and add a cube. Now this cube is going to be the domain, so it has to cover up this entire pipe and everything in it, because what domains do is they allow it where the computer only simulates what's in the domain. So it allows it where you don't have to use near as much memory, so that's good. So we're going to get the sizing tool and make it go up, kind of make it wider. Excuse me. Okay, that looks good. Let me hit Z. Alright, that looks nice. Kind of like adjust it. Alright. Now, let me hit Z to make sure nothing's coming out on any of the borders. Good. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need, having our domain selected, go to our Physics tab and click on Fluid. Now where it says Type, we need to hit Domain. And it's going to add a water simulation already there. Don't worry about that. Once we hit Bake, it's going to fix all of this. So where it says Viewport Display, click on Final. Then, so that's going to add more vertices. We're going to click on the resolution and bring this up to around 90. 90 or 100 looks good to me. And once we do that, you're going to notice it's going to require more memory. So the more resolution you have, the more memory it's going to take to bake. Now, I'm going to select my sphere and click on Fluid. The type is going to be Inflow. And the volume installation is, we're going to keep that the same way it is, and the inflow velocity, we're going to make the Z a -0.5, and this is going to make it where the water flows downward instead of up. Excuse me. And on the pipe, we're going to click on Fluid, and the type is going to be an obstacle, because we don't want the water to go through the pipe, like, you know, through the pipe itself. We want it to actually flow along the pipe. Alright, so the volume installation, we need to make this a shell in order for it to work. Okay. Now, click on our domain, right there and hit bake. And you're gonna see that this is the progress for baking the simulation. Okay, go to your pipe and by right clicking and click on the material. Click on new, and we're going to change this to the diffuse to glass, BSDF. Okay, so yeah, now it has a glass material. We're not really going to tweak any of the settings. That's good to go. And the fluid simulation is almost done, and while I have this little bit of time, if you like this tutorial, please subscribe and check out some other videos. I mainly focus on VFX and stuff, and yeah. By the way, Blender 2.72 came out. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I heard it's really good. Alright, the fluid simulation is almost done. It sometimes takes a little while. Hold on. Just kind of look through our settings. Oh, on the world, let's make the world. On the world tab, go to preview. On use nodes, we're going to click use nodes, and on the background, we're going to make this white for now. Okay, the fluid simulation is done, so let me click on the fluid and let's kind of scroll through the timeline. It's looking good. Awesome. Alright, so if you hit Z, you're going to be like, oh my word, what just happened? That's supposed to happen, so don't worry. On the shading, hit smooth. It's going to smooth it out a little bit, but we also need to make it even more smoother. So go to the modifier and click on add modifier. And we're going to click on smooth. Where it says repeat, we're going to change this to 4, and then on the factor, we're going to make this 1. Okay, let me hit Z. You're going to see that this made it really smooth, and it looks good now. Okay, so now let me go to the very first frame. You're going to see that the pipe is thin. So we need to make it thicker by selecting the pipe and go to the modifier and click on solidify. And normally, thickness, we can make the thickness on the inside of the pipe, but we're going to give it a negative value so it gets thick on the outside of the pipe. I'm going to make that somewhere in the negative 0.2 area. Okay, so it's working the way we want it to. And now we need to add a like a world background, and I'm going to use a .hdr image to allow it where it's an image that wraps around the whole screen, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Go to color and click on environment texture, and I'm going to leave a link in the download link in the description where you can download the .hdr image, the same .hdr image that I use, and I'm going to find the file location. You can yours will probably be in a different area, but I'm going to select .hdr, open image. Okay, now if I go to render, you're going to see that yeah, it picked out this like canyon area. I thought it looked pretty cool, so we're going to make it look like the water is coming out of the mountain. So yeah. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. I think I want the animation to stop around frame 130, so I'm going to make this stop 130. And let me go to material, select the fluid and go to material, and we need to make this glass. So let me hit new, and like I said, having the fluid selected, we're going to make this glass, so click on diffuse and then click glass, BSDF. Alright, so this should have a completely different results. Click on render. Alright, yeah, that looks really nice. I'll do it one more time. Alright. Okay, so this is the results that I want it to have. It looks pretty amazing. We want to make it look like it's coming out of the mountain, so let's hit numpad 0 and select, hit N, and select lock camera to view. And now I'm just going to kind of move it to where it kind of comes out of that little crack right there. I would say about right there. Okay, that looks nice. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And I'm gonna unlock the camera to view, and now I'm gonna go to my rendered settings. On my render settings, I'm going to make the frame rate 30 frames per second. I'm gonna make the output H.264, and I'm gonna save it onto my desktop for simplicity's sake. I'm gonna name it pipe. Accept. And you can bring the resolution up to 100% if you want to. And we are ready to render. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.